Morning, everyone, all Magic players. Good morning and welcome to the morning show where we discuss all things Magic the Gathering. Get ready for Q&A and Magic discussion. If you want your questions answered, don't forget to give 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question. Helps me find your questions amongst all the comments. And also, we do Decklist review. In the second part, if you got a 75, you can submit it to us and we'll fix the mana base, fix the win condition, help you get an edge against your bad matchups. Brew up that cup of coffee and let's brew up some Magic conversation. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for January 8th, 2021. I am not that late. Come on, I've been late. I am late every single day. This is not that bad. I'm like 2 minutes late today. Usually I'm 5, sometimes 7. Looks like you're early. Yeah, that's right. Do you see? Some people are here early. You expect that I'm going to be late. Good morning, everyone, and it's going to be an exciting day. We're going to look over millions of spoiled cards. Wizards of the Coast themselves just dumped a ton of cards on us yesterday with their basically Kaldheim Fest stream or whatever. A lot of cards that were leaked were shown in their presentation, but also a lot of new cards got revealed. So we're definitely going to be going over all that today. It's Kaldheim spoiler day. Good morning, Fish Fam. I'm Nikachu. Good morning, Jarl. Good morning, Ugly Hood Rat. Yes, the spoilers. We want spoilers. Give us the cards, Wizards. New cards. You know, it's spoiler season. We're always hoping for that one card to save us for our deck, where everyone's looking for their own thing, and usually everyone gets something but Merfolk. Emiliano, good morning. Good morning, Direwolf. Morning, Matthew. Oh God, I'm not looking forward to those lands. Not yet, Direwolf. Not yet. If anyone hasn't heard, they're going all in on snow. We're gonna have more snow stuff. And my fear, and okay, so we're already forced to play with snow lands in Modern and Legacy. Now it might get pushed to Historic and Pioneer. And of course, Standard for the foreseeable future. We have yet to see any snow hate. We need to look for snow hate to give us some reason to play with our normal non-snow lands. I want a meme about man who hates Tron gets completely wrecked by Tron. I don't know how to make that into a meme, but yes, it was just hilarious. I made a video showcasing Willie Hall, and just so happens the moment I enter his stream, I know he hates Tron. He's just getting fucking crushed by Tron. Absolutely destroyed. They got Tron mana. They have a million planeswalkers out. He has no chance. And he's just like... He's having a miserable... He didn't say anything. There were no words coming out of his mouth. Absolutely nothing. Shout out to the Will Hall experience. Good morning, Emperor. Just printed a 7-mana Tibalt that you can cascade into as a 2-mana card. Yeah, I saw. Oh, can you cascade it into it as a 2-mana card? Because it's a flip card, right? So it's the front card that is what's counted? I guess so. So hon, you can cascade and then you can choose what side you want? That sounds ridiculous. I hope that's not an actual thing. That sounds terrible. Good morning, Frederick. Good morning, Torborg. Good morning, James. Good morning, Raznab. Benjamin says, I think Frostbite is going to be pretty good. Probably not in Modern. It's just a bad lightning bolt, but we'll go over it. It's definitely going to see play in probably Pioneer. It may be Pioneer. I don't know. You need... We'll look over it. There's a lot of stuff. Buenos dias, Fish Fam. Buenos dias. What kind of snow hate do you think it would take to make snow lands not worth jamming in Modern or Legacy? If there were just a few Modern or Legacy playable cards that gave you an upside because your opponent has snow lands in play, that would be enough. You know, the advantage you get from playing with snow lands is so small. It's still something. Like, it trips your opponent up into thinking you're a different deck, like once every 50 matches. It will disorient your opponent enough that it's pure upside. Like, it's a free roll, basically. It's a complete free roll. But if there is anything, a single playable card in the metagame that gets an upside from you having snow lands, I think that would be enough to switch to regular basics. Because the issue is, Yeah. Well, anyway, the issue is we want to play with our favorite arts. What's going on here? Good morning, William. Good morning, Carlos. Seems like another loophole. Oh God, that doesn't sound good. Yes, and you can fetch. Well, you can always fetch the snowlands, but you can now fetch dual snowlands. We'll look at them. We're gonna get there. Am I the only person who plays snowland just for the aesthetic and not to? You might. There are some nice snowlands. There are some nice ones, but I mean, in general, you'd have to be pretty lucky. I mean, I know people who like foiled out their Merfolk deck in like snowlands. They just like the art more than a regular island. But in general, because there are so many arts out there, there's usually something, for at least for most people, that will beat out the snowland art. I will say, I like the snow plains more than a regular plains. I might be a minority on here. I really don't like a lot of the arts for plains. So I like the Modern Horizons plains. This actually might be my favorite plains out there. I like the blend of the colors. And sure, do you know what? Maybe I like the card because it doesn't even look like a plains. And if it was an actual plains, we would see fucking grass and bushweed and some stupid trees. Maybe this is why I like snow-covered plains a lot. But I love the colors between how it's transitions from like sort of a gray blue at the top to a warmer yellow into a blue at the bottom. Good composition. I'm a huge fan of this. Love it. What do you think of Rise of the Dead, Dread Marn for Zombies? Could a card like Price of Progress that hates snow be good hosers? I'm not sure if I Rise of the Dread or Dead. No cards exist. Rise of the Dead? Sorry, I don't understand the question. You gotta re-clarify. Anyway, let's there's like spoilers, people. Spoilers. All right, what's super new? Oldest. Okay, like look at this. The lands, people. So we got Blood on the Snow. Is that new? I think that's new. Choose one. Destroy all creatures, destroy all planeswalkers, then return a creature or planeswalker card with converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of snow spent to cast this spell. Return a creature or planeswalker card with converted mana cost X or less. That seems pretty strong. Probably not modern playable. 6 mana, that's like OP. Look, they're going all in on this snow shit. All in! Snow sorceries, snow instants. Oh yeah, by the way, we got snow actual cards now. Can I make this larger? We can get larger here. Excellent. So yeah, so we have now snow sorceries. Destroy all creatures. We can only choose one. Planeswalkers or the creatures. But then you get something back from the graveyard. And of course, your deck is only going to be snowland, so of course you're going to cast this for 6. It's only relevant crap. I'm gonna be so zoomed in here. Okay, so we have I'll look at the god later. I just want to talk about the lands. We have fetchable snow duels at common, actually. So it makes me wonder: are they going to make even more powerful snowlands at rare? Like we haven't seen the whole set yet. These are common snowlands. It's on the same. Basically at the same, I don't know if about the same, you're going to find them at the same rate as a basic, but, they're common. Look at the cons of Tarkir Island, and then remember that it's somehow not a snow. There's so many lands out there that clearly have snow on them, but they're not snow. Funny story. So I'm playing with some, I got back into the game of Magic because some of my high school friends got me back into it. They're like, hey, we're playing Magic now. We heard you used to play Magic. Come play with us. And now one of them was like, they were playing with some snow cards. And they played some spell where, whatever, it might have been Scred or something, and deals damage equal to number of snowlands you have. And I said, but you don't have any snowlands. And he said, he held up his mountain. Look, there's snow on the mountain. And I had to explain to him, there's actual cards called Snow Covered Mountain. And then he got up, went to the computer, and he's like, well, I'll be damned. Well, I'll be damned. Anyway. I know there's no consistency here, but I guess it's the best that we go based on like what the card actually says, not what it looks like. So we got Rimewood Falls, Ice Tunnel, Highland Forest, Glacial Floodplain, Snow. These are fetchable lands. They come into play tapped. I'm pretty sure these are seeing modern play. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think these are gonna be seeing modern play. I think especially I think this is gonna help bring Icefang Quaddle back in a big way. I mean, if you can go, you just need like 1 or 2 of them in your deck. It's not even that big of a liability. You just have like a few of them in your deck. You fetch, and it still counts for Mystic Sanctuary. Remember, it still counts for Mystic Sanctuary. It's still going to count for, and it's going to count for Icefang Quaddle. So you basically end of turn fetch, get this thing into play tapped if you have nothing else to do, and on your turn you can start fetching basics, and you immediately you get this Icefang Quaddle in play a lot earlier. I mean, like, you aren't punished for getting Breeding Pool or anything like that. I think this is going to be the return of Icefang Quaddle because of these lands. These totally, I'm surprised they put them at common, but I guess they're going to be really desirable, so they might have been really expensive. So shout out to Wizards. They're pretty much snow guild gates. No, because guild gates were never fetchable. Yeah, land types is gotta have the land types in there. This is a completely different card. It's a completely different card. I think this is gonna see some modern play. They only need like 1 or 2 of them in the deck, not a lot. They don't need a lot of them in the deck. You know, it's like the Triomes, although you can cycle the Triome. I'm sure there are. Anyway, I think it's gonna help bring the what's it called? Icefang Quaddle back into prominence. Oh yeah, it's also very relevant. These are common, so they can enter the Pauper metagame. Lands are insane. Basically reprint. Well, I don't know about that. That's where Black Lotus. That's a bit strong. Yeah. In before snow fetch. Well, that's not necessary because like any regular fetch land. Oh, you mean like a fetch land that just finds snow? Crack, fetch, look for a snow land put into play. That's interesting. That's interesting design space. Maybe we can get a cheaper fetch land if it only finds snowlands. Love your video about Force and Negation. You're welcome. Is it Scred? Here we go. It's possible. I'm sure there's a lot of... Okay, so snowlands back. Let's go look at... Let's look at cards. What stood out to me? Is there anything that people found? I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff. This might see some play. There is a basically a new a new time walk that you can play for 6 mana. You get like 2 birds out of it. Not too bad. Alrund's Epiphany. 7 mana, but like, hey, I didn't think Nexus of Fate could see modern play, and it has seen modern play. So basically, it has the foretell thing where you can pay 2, you exile, and then you can play it for 6 mana later. I think the Taking Turns deck might be very interested in this card. Of course, it does not. This card doesn't exile itself. Laugh my ass off, but for real, I think they'll see modern play with Quaddle serve similar purposes as Astrolabe did. Yep. Although Astrolabe helped you play like a lot of colors. Have we looked at Goldspan Dragon? No, we have not. Is this it? Okay, so these are the super hot new ones. So red 3, flying haste. Whenever Goldspan Dragon attacks or becomes the target of a spell or ability, target of a spell, create a treasure token. Oh, so you create treasures as you attack. Treasure tokens, treasures you have tap, sacrifice. Oh yeah, it's as usual. Add 2 mana of any one color. Oh, so it doubles the amount of mana because of Goldspan Dragon. It's Smog, people. It's Smog. Smog from Lord of the Rings. That's Smog. All right, so Goldspan Dragon. Well, I don't think this is going to see much modern play. I don't think the payoff is... There's like no payoff to this card, basically. you get more mana, but you need, in Modern, once you hit, you need, like, one reason that Glorybringer saw play in Modern is because it killed creatures when it entered the battlefield. You have to play to the board, and it's just getting more mana. Very good card, but not, I don't think you'll see Modern play. Could see Standard play. Don't underestimate 4/4 Flying Dragons. Giant's Amulet and Equipment. All right, a blue card, people. This is new. Blue Artifact Equipment. When ETB, you may pay 4 if you do create a 4/4 blue giant wizard creature token, then attach Giant's Amulet to it. This is like Batterskull for blue. Equipped creature gets +0/+1 and has this creature as hexproof as long as it's untapped. Well, that's sort of crappy. So basically, they printed a Batterskull because for 5 mana, you get a 4/5 creature. I mean, I guess it doesn't have vigilance or lifelink, but you get the idea. You have something to do for early turns of the game, and you have something to do for later turns of the game. I wonder, is this like a pretty good way of protecting our Splinterfin target? It still sucks up mana though, and the equip is 2. It's too much mana. Anyway, it's probably not gonna be Modern playable. Hey Nikachu, what's Merfolk's plan against turn 1 Giver of Runes, turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic? Yesterday I got beat really bad. Pithing Needle is really good against that combo. Actually, it's pretty good. So you can Pithing Needle to Giver of Runes, you can Pithing Needle to Stoneforge Mystic. It's good stuff. That would be my plan. Calamity Bearer. If a giant source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent. Oh, we saw this already. This was spoiled. Like this was leaked. What is this? Glaciate. Green to generic aura, enchant land, becomes a snow land, and when enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional mana. Boring. Boring. I still don't think Goldspan would make it to Pioneer, because I don't even think Glorybringer made it to Pioneer. We have birds. We have the Augury Raven here. You can see my you can see my cursor now. In the past, I don't think you could ever see my cursor on Coffee and MTG. By the way, welcome everyone to Coffee and MTG. We're looking over the spoilers of Kaldheim. So and probably there's going to be new stuff coming in as we speak. Yeah, the extra turn one is pretty good. This is the Epiphany one. As they are lovingly calling it, was it Time Squawk? That's the name. This is what they're calling this thing, Time Squawk. Because you get 2 birds like Squadron Hawk, but you get a Time Walk attached to it. Alright, what new stuff? New stuff. Oh, this was the thing that doubles Reflections of Lityara. ETB, choose a creature type. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. Interesting. Very expensive. It's a commander card, pony card. It's 5 mana. Not going to see any play in Modern. It's Reflections of... Yeah, it's just... We're not going to play this thing first and then start playing creatures and doubling them. Needed to be much more aggressively costed to see tournament play. Glimpse of the Cosmos. I don't know if I saw this one before. Blue 1 sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. As long as you control a giant, you may cast a Glimpse of the Cosmos from your graveyard by paying blue rather than paying its mana cost. If you do, cast a Glimpse of the Cosmos this way and it would be put into your graveyard, exiled instead. That's pretty strong. That's actually really strong. That's really strong. So maybe in some blue-red giant deck, he doesn't take many giants. This is going to be like a really good card. I mean, it's like Ponder, if not better. It's just 1 blue, put a good card in your hand, and put the garbage on the bottom of your library in any order. And it gives itself flashback so long as you control a giant. Because you can cast it from the graveyard. This actually is a pretty strong looking card. I mean, it's not bad by itself, all right? 2 mana, dig 3 cards deep, put one of them into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library. That is not bad. You could do worse. For the fact that you have a potential free card in the graveyard for just playing a blue for maybe some creatures you're already playing, like Bone Crusher Giant. You probably need it, like, oh yeah, Uro's a Giant as well. Uro's a Giant. True story. Not a bad card. I don't know if it's going to see play, because you still need to have enough Giants in your deck to make this worthwhile, but not a bad card. Maybe other formats will definitely see this. I mean, this could see play in Pioneer for sure. Augury Raven. Everyone knows you are an uncontested fish player. Okay, Nico says, everyone knows you're an uncontested fish player, but is there no desire to master another deck? Not yet, because there's always something new to do with Merfolk in Modern. Could be, yeah, it could be a Jeskai Giants thing in Standard. Would you ever need more than Bone Crusher Giant? Probably. In order to get enough synergy off of this other card, you probably need at least 2. I would think 2. Maybe there's like a Teamer Giants deck between Bone Crusher Giant and Uro, but I think you'd probably need 2. At least 2 Giants. So you have reasonably, because 2 mana for a cantrip, probably not the best. Okay, let's look at this birdie. 4 mana for a birdie, but has Foretell, flying. Oh, that's it? You're a 3/3 flyer. Boring. Moving on. Behold the Multiverse. Instant. Scry 2, then draw 2 cards, but it has Foretell, so you can pay 2 and then 2 mana and flip it over. So like this Foretell thing, it's like, what's it called? It's like Morph for instants and sorceries. My audio is popping? That doesn't sound good. Okay, how about now? Oh, and what are my audio settings? It might be popping because of... Where's my audio? Oh, I don't know if it's popping, but it might have... I am using a noise cancellation software in addition to my microphone. Yes, Cole, this is how I can see your questions amongst all the other comments. Tecton, maybe. I mean, for Standard, there's definitely a lot of Giants. So, I mean, I have no idea. Like, anything could happen in Standard. But I mostly look at the non-rotating formats. What cards do you think we will see reprinted in Time Spiral Remastered? I'm not really thinking about that right now, given that we just have seen new cards out of Kaldheim. But I mean, I don't know. I think isn't Time Spiral Remastered is mostly just like the old cards, like they're just reprinting the set with a few new cards. So I expect to see like Lord of Atlantis and stuff. Yes, Foretell is like Morph, and Suspend had a baby. Why Suspend? Why is it like Suspend? I think it's just like Morph. More Morph than Suspend. Because Suspend, you don't have to pay any mana when you just pay up mana and eventually it just slowly to get cast. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Foretell cost is in sorcery speed no matter the card is instant speed. Good question. I don't know. I do not know. I don't know this. I don't know these rules. Cast it on a later turn for its Foretell cost. Oh yeah, it's in exile. Okay, I get it. So it's Morph and Suspend. I get it. Both cards suspend themselves. What do you think about the Rogue's Tribal deck? I have no opinions. I have no idea. I'm not looking at that stuff. What do you think of Control getting more cards? I mean, it's inevitable. They probably did just get more cards. Just Behold the... I don't know. Behold the Multiverse might see play. Like, I was always surprised that those 4 mana instant draw 2 cards spells saw play. So Behold the Multiverse looks like... I don't know if it's a strict upgrade to... what is it? Glimpse the Awake? I can't remember. The one where you get to cycle for 1 mana, but it still looks pretty good. This looks unplayable. This is a commander card. Trample, Haste, blah, blah, blah. We already know about this card. This got revealed at the end as if it was the big deal. The big deal! just like, oh, the Phyrexians are fucking back. The Phyrexians, people. Beware the Phyrexian. The Phyrexians are going to come after us. I think it's weird that they add Phyrexians in a set based around Norse mythology. I think that's really bizarre. I actually don't like that they do that. You know, what the fuck was Emrakul doing in Innistrad? I think that was really bizarre and stupid. Yeah, Hieroglyphic Illumination. Like, I never thought that card would see play, but it saw a lot of play. Yeah, being able to split costs is a big deal. It's a big game. Because there's always situations where you have, like, dead mana. Use play Blue-Eye Control. What variation should I play today? How's Jeskai Wildfire positioned? I wouldn't say they're all positioned great, but they are great. They are good. They are good decks. The only issue is you might be losing to Uro decks, but that's okay, because Uro's going to get banned eventually, and your deck is going to be great after the banning. So if you want to prepare getting into those sort of archetypes before the banning, go for it. The good part about foretelling competitive EDH is the possibility of having a card protected from wheels. Oh, that's a good point. But till now, none of the foretell cards are CEDH playable. We're gonna wait and see. Where's the... Okay, so here's Frostbite, which is quoted as the new Lightning Bolt, but it's missing one of the most important features. So you got a red. Frostbite deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If you control 3 or more snow permanents, though, it deals 3 damage instead. 3 damage, people! So it's still a pretty good removal spell for, like, creatures. Like, pretty efficient. 3 mana is, like, pretty important. But it doesn't target the face. No targeting of the face. And that's pretty damn important. I mean, that's everything. It will be a shame if we don't see new Infect cards. I would bet a lot that there is no Infect cards. I don't think that is a card. I don't think that's a mechanic they want to bring back. I think... Well, I don't know. I don't know if they find it, like, incredibly dangerous, but, like, I think you have to be very careful with Infect. Because it creates, like... It creates aggressive combo decks. There's nothing... We don't need more aggressive combo decks. We have enough. Do you think Mass Vandal is Simic playable? It can exile non-animated Theros gods. Okay, let's look. So this is... Oh yeah, I have to make a video about this. Mass Vandal. Is it playable? Absolutely. But it's awkward. You know, okay, so it's a green and 1 generic for a 1/3 shapeshifter changeling. When Mass Vandal enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Okay. Here's the problem. You have to exile a creature card from your graveyard. That's the hard part. How are we exiling cards from our graveyard? Especially against the Heliod deck. Okay, we can exile Heliod, but we need a creature in the graveyard, and we need to get it there reliably. How do we do this? I mean, like... Because a lot of these decks that we're going to be bringing this in against, they're going to be playing with Path to Exile and Skyclave Apparition. So we're still not actually getting any cards in the graveyard. They can go turn 2 Heliod, and I'm like, okay, I can't actually play this card because I don't have a creature in my graveyard to exile. So I mean, that's the well, but even then, Curse Catcher, I need to sacrifice it against something. So someone said Mist Caller is a possibility, but now I'm like 2 for winning myself, or like I guess I'm 1 for winning myself in order to get rid of this damn thing. So it's not that yeah, I guess the Uro Merfolk deck would have more interaction because I would use Branch Walker to put cards in my graveyard potentially. What if Uro hangs on like Looting or Mox Opal for years? I don't think Uro is going to hang on for years. The community's already pretty pissed with Uro, so it's a matter of time. The community wasn't pissed about Opal or Looting for years. That's the problem. Like no one, those cards were in the format for forever because no one made any noise about it. It's like, oh, Mox Opal's fine. It's been here forever. You couldn't do that to the Affinity decks. They would be so pissed. Yes, we can. And I don't care if they're pissed. Fuck Classic Affinity. Do you think Wizards will ruin this plane and turn it into a second new Phyrexia? They could absolutely do that. They love to do that. So anyway, Mass Vandal, good card, but hard to enable, especially against the decks that I need it against. Like against Amulet, they barely have any removal until it's too late. Like the moment they play Dry to the Elysian Grove is the time that they play like Land Valakut, shoot my board, and it's like just a little too late. I don't really want to lose anything. Do I think Teferi is safe? I think it's safe, but no one likes it. So they might ban it just because no one likes it. It got banned in other formats because no one likes it. No one likes you, Teferi. So is this playable? Probably. It might be harder to use than we think. It's not going to be a 2-mana destroy target artifact or enchantment, that's for sure. It just won't. Oh, you can vial it in between Valakut triggers and get the rest to whiff. So that's actually a possibility. That's not a bad suggestion. But still, that's more situational. I can't force that all the time. That's like a scenario. We got Ether Vial, and they have multiple Valakut triggers. And I can exile one of these things. But so, but it is a line. It's definitely a line. But anyway, I think Mass Vandal, we'll test it. We're definitely going to test that card. That's definitely worth trying. But let's look at it another way. This card, I'm always looking at these cards like, okay, this is what it can do for us. Now, what can it do for our opponents? Because they can like exile our Ether Vial. They can exile our Spreading Seas. They can take our stuff away. Maybe they'll exile our Relic of Progenitus. I don't know. I'm a little I'm scared, you know, because we use our own artifacts and enchantments, right? Maybe they'll exile our Spreading Seas. Anyway, it's just some things to think about. It's hard to enable for us, but it might not be too hard for other people to enable. Oh, I never saw this card. What do we have here? For the green Stompy decks. Green, Old Growth Troll. Troll Warrior, trample. Whenever Old Growth Troll dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield. It's an aura enchantment with Enchant Forest. You can add, you control. Sorry, when it dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield. It's an aura enchantment with Enchant Forest you control, and Enchanted Forest has add double green and 1. Tap, sacrifice this land, create a tapped. What the hell? I don't understand this card. Okay, if it dies, it comes back as an aura. It enchants a forest you control. An Enchanted Forest has tap, add GG and a generic. Hold on, are these multiple abilities or something? Or you could have tap, sacrifice this land. So I can either tap it for mana, or I can tap it and sack the land and get my 4/4 Troll Warrior creature token with trample. This is a hard card to read. What the fuck is wrong with you, Wizards? I think it has 2 abilities. It's just hard to distinguish with these commas. They should use the semicolon, damn it. They create a separate line. I don't know. This was hard to read. Yeah, it's 2 abilities. I don't know if it's going to be abused, but it's a pretty good card. Like, not bad. I like this card. I like it a lot. And the fact that you can, like, you basically ramp with this thing, right? And it's trample. Okay, this is a fire design card. This could see play. This is going to see play. 4/4 creature for 3 mana. You can get this thing out turn 2. Not too bad. I think Mono Green Devotion should be looking at this card. Yeah, you get a bonus ability. And I mean, that's huge ramp. You put this on the land, and all of a sudden it's adding 2 extra mana. That's bananas. This is the fire design we want in Merfolk. That's right. I mean, at this point, I think one of the best things I could look for is some sort of Merfolk card that's resistant to removal. Like it dies and it comes back or something like, I don't know, like Persist. Ponza might like this card. Anyway, that's an interesting card. I didn't see that at all. That's a very interesting card. That's a card that has a lot of abilities attached to it. Ooh, Elf. Elf Warrior. It's for the Warriors out there. Elf Warrior. The Warriors. Maybe I should take out noise cancellation. The construction people aren't. Okay, hold on. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear? I'm just curious. Can everyone still hear me or no? This is just a test. I'm testing 1, 2, 3. I know it takes like 15 seconds for you. Okay, excellent. And the sound might be a little bit better because I took the noise cancellation off. So you might hear some construction in the background, but RTX voice is not going to like clip my stuff. I appreciate everyone. I sound great. I'm wonderful. Okay, so Elvish War Master, the Master. They keep printing more Masters. I don't, you know, a pattern I've seen with Wizards of the Coast, they're naming more and more cards Masters. So green and generic, whenever one or more other elves enter the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. This ability triggers only once. Oh, okay, it only triggers once each turn. Okay, interact. Oh, whoa, it's still, that's good. That is a very good ability. And then pay 7 mana. Elves you control get +2/+2 and Death Touch until end of turn. Holy shit. This is really good. This is a very, very good card. This, I don't know if this could be, maybe this will be played in the combo elf deck. Maybe this could be a combo elf type of card. But, it's definitely could take elves in another direction where they like slowly move away from combo and just go aggro. Like this is a very good ability because you could play, wait for it's sort of like a 3 mana card. You're gonna wait for 3 mana, play this plus play another creature, and then you get the elf warrior creature token. I think this card is great. This card is very, very good. Now, where is that for Merfolk? Where is this for Merfolk? This is bullshit. We never get anything like this. This is at 2 mana. You had 2 mana, so you have something early in the game, and you have like a really good early game ability, and you have a really good late game ability that just like completely steamrolls your opponent. Someone I know speculates this is a new template for the first time something triggers that reduces feel bad situations. Interesting. So anyway, good stuff. I have to test this over Dwinnen, but it's sure good. I think it's good. Yeah, we got Frederick here, the inventor of warrior elves. Yeah, what else do we got? Well, I've missed a lot of cards. Well, I heard the Tybalt has like a really busted first side. Oh yeah, so it has Valky, God of Lies, a black and a generic. ETB, each opponent reveals their hand. For each opponent, exile a creature card they revealed this way until Valky leaves the battlefield. So Chief on Twitter posted a picture of this with Uro. So you could like, you play your Valky, you exile their Uro, and then for like 3 mana next turn, because you can pay X, choose a creature card exiled with Valky with converted mana cost X. Valky becomes a copy of that card. Just a copy, permanently. So turn 2, Valky, exile the Uro. Turn 3, turn it into Uro, attack, swing for 6, gain 3 life, draw a card, put a land onto the battlefield. GG. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. Are we going, or we are going into the Harry Potter world next set, so I think it will bring something for you guys, I hope. But it's probably going to be more of a wizard thing than anything else. And, I don't know, 7 mana Tybalt, not really interested, whatever. I don't know if you'll see play anywhere. What else do we got here? What is this? Inga Rune Eyes. When Inga Rune Eyes enter ETB, scry 3. When Inga Rune Eyes dies, draw 3 cards. If 3 or more creatures died this turn. That's not too bad. Well, I mean, actually, maybe it is too bad. 3 or more creatures died this turn. That's difficult. So it's like you can board wipe with. I guess you could board wipe like Supreme Verdict with this thing on the board. So you know you lose your Inga Rune Eyes, but you're gonna get it. You're gonna make it back with like a sweep with the draw 3. So it could create some new like design space for playing creatures and attacking with them and blowing up your own board. Not I don't think this is what's it called? I don't think it's modern playable though. Not off first glance. Nico Eris. ETB, create X shard tokens. It's like clues, right? They're enchantments with pay 2, sacrifice this enchantment, scry 1, then draw a card. So they're like super clues. Blue, and 1 white and X, and then up to 1 target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Whenever that creature deals damage this turn, return to its owner's hand. I really hate those abilities, though. That really sucks. You don't really want to put stuff back into your hand. I guess alternatively, you could target up to 1 target creature. Oh no, it's only target creatures you control. I don't like those abilities. That's the +1. Nico Ares deals 2 damage to target tapped creature for each card you've drawn this turn. Create a shard token. Honestly, the best part of this card is just making these shard tokens. Not a very impressive planeswalker. I think the abilities are very clunky. Very, very clunky. Does not protect themselves at all. Do we have any? I think we have something at the bottom. No, I think this card's old. We've been here. Yeah. That was leaked. That was a leaked card. I don't think Wizards hates Merfolk, but Fire Design started after the Merfolk set, so that sucked. We saw the dragon, but I don't think it's like modern playable. Like it's 5 mana that doesn't have any influence on the battlefield. Makes treasure tokens, but at 5 mana, you better have the mana, already have all the mana that you need. Okay, is there anything important that we're missing? This is 3 mana for 2/3 Demon Rogue, Death Touch, Boast. Target player searches their library for a card, shuffles their library, and puts that card on top of it. Activate this ability only if this creature attacked this turn and only once each turn. That's not bad, but like 3 mana for a 2/3 creature that sort of dirtles, I don't know if that's good enough. Commander card. Very good commander card. How to make boring every format with power creep. This looks like Yu-Gi-Oh! We are on the way. Gotta compete with Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, I was almost in love with this card. Like, 2 mana for a 2/3 flyer, that's pretty awesome, to be honest. That's pretty awesome. Even as a legendary bird, and I love birds in art, and this is a really nice picture. Flying, when Haka, Whispering Raven, deals combat damage to a player, return it to its hand and scry 2. I just hate this returning to your hand crap. That's not good. They're bad. That's bad stuff. But 2 mana, 2/3 blocker with flying, like, that's not too bad. What does the other side do? 5 mana for a 1/1. Elrond gets +1/+1 for each card in your hand, and each foretold card you own in exile. At the beginning of your end step, choose a card type, then reveal the top 2 cards of your library. Put all cards of the chosen type into your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. Boo. Not interesting. These were gas, though. Look at all these green cards down here. Elvish Warmaster, Mass Vandal, and Old Growth Troll. Old gas. What is this one? I don't think we went over this one. Cole, the Forge Master, red-white legendary creature, dwarf warrior. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, if it was enchanted or equipped, return it to its owner's hand. Creature tokens you control that are enchanted or equipped get +1/+1. That's a little bit too weak. They need to be enchanted or equipped. That makes like a deck really clunky. That's like a really good draft card or something. Why does Wizards love green? That's a good question. They definitely love green. My second favorite tribe? Probably Wizards. Gotta love the Wizards, because they're very similar to Merfolk. Yeah, the god sucks. I think that 5 mana for that ability, for a 1/1 creature with that ability, is garbage. Yeah, the Timmies and the ponies. Yeah, we looked at all this stuff. Anything new? Oh, we got new stuff, people! Fresh off the presses. Oh, fuck. It's a green land, which means maybe there's going to be a blue land. Okay, Bretigard Stronghold. Oh, fuck. Another Stronghold. ETB tapped. Add a green. Pay 2 white. Oh, so it's more of a Selesnya card. Okay, double white G. Tap. Sacrifice the Stronghold. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. They gain Vigilance and Lifelink until end of turn. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. Not terribly impressive. Not terribly impressive. I think it's a pretty weak card. Not going to see modern play. Forging. Forging something. No love for Faye? The Faye got loved in Eldraine. Couldn't remember the name. We have no translation here. Okay, forging the Tyrite sword. White, red, and a generic create for the first two. Create a treasure token. That's pretty crappy. Search, and the third one is search your library for a card named Halvar, God of Battle, or an equipment card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. I think this is trash. You can't spend 3 mana and do nothing. That's garbage. That's a commander card right there. Search your library. Search your library cards or commander cards for the most part, especially at that rate. Any chance to see modern Valky with Bloodbraid Elf cascade into Tybalt on turn 4? Okay, actually, do you know what? Let's discuss this. So that is a very serious thing. I just skipped over that. Yeah, we can Bloodbraid Elf into this thing and then put a Tybalt on the battlefield. As Tybalt enters the battlefield, you get an emblem with, you may play cards, exile with Tybalt, Cosmetic Imposter. Because first things first, Valky, God of Lies is not bad. Like, it's a 2/1 creature for 2 mana. Not great, but not terrible. But with an amazing ability. Like, it exiles creatures from your opponent's hand. And you can copy them. Okay, so how big is this? So we can get a 5 loyalty. As Tybalt enters the battlefield, you get an emblem with, you may play cards exiled with Tybalt, Cosmic Imposter, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. So +2, exile the top card of each player's library. -3, exile target artifact or creature. Like, that would be pretty backbreaking, to be honest, to Bloodbraid Elf into this. Oh, maybe it's not that bad, though. ETB, you get an emblem with, you may play cards exiled with Tybalt. It's going to be interesting to see how backbreaking this is going to be. So it's like, because the -3 puts it to 2 and puts it in range of just dying, and it's going to do some dirtling. And the -8 is garbage. You know what? I don't think cascading into this is going to be all that bad. I think it's going to end up being very fair. It costs 7 mana, but maybe that was just the downside to being able to cascade into it for 2 mana. It actually might be, like, okay. It might be okay. Well, here, like, okay, so do we have confirmation that I can cascade into this and then play Tybalt the other side? Because a lot of people are, because I don't know the ruling. I just don't. Do we have any judges in the house? Don't worry, we're gonna do Decklist reviews, but we gotta attend to the most pressing matter. Dread Marn card on the 6th of January. Rise of the Dread Marn. Okay, black 2 instant, create X 2/2 black zombie berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of non-creature tokens that died this turn. X is the number of non-token creatures that died this turn. 4 Telfra black, and it's an instant. So you can pay 2, create X 2/2 black zombie berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of non-creature creatures that died this turn. What about this card? Who can use this? Raven form? Okay, I'm gonna check the Discord. Shit, how do I share this with everybody? Why don't I just look it up here? MTG. On Google, work fast. Oh god. Did not work fast enough. I can't share it. Hopefully the site is updating with this thing. Okay, show us Raven form. There we go. Mythic Spoiler is on the case. Okay. So we got a blue and 2 generic. Exile target artifact or creature. That's nice. Its controller creates a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying. Foretell for a blue. During your turn, you may pay 2. Exile this card from your hand, face down, cast it later on a later turn for its foretell cost. That actually is pretty damn good. 3 mana is a little tough. I wish this was 2 mana. I would much prefer that. 3 mana is a little tough, but maybe if we pay the upfront cost of 2 mana, it wouldn't be too bad. And we exile the card. It's interesting. Blue is getting more into the exiling. Exile something and replace it with some garbage. This, I don't know if it's too slow. It's a very strong effect. And the fact that we can hit artifacts is really big game. Really big game. And of course, we can foretell it. This, I have to experiment with this. Exiles Scourge of the Skyclaves, exiles Death Shadow. And exiling is very important so that the opponent is not going to bring it back with Luris. It's artifact hate built in. We exile artifacts. All right, you want it? Okay, go for it. And the fact that it's 3 mana might be very useful against decks like Eldrazi-tron that are trying to play, what's it called? They were playing Chalice of the Void, so if they play Chalice on 1 or 2, we can get around that with Raven form because it's a 3 mana card. I still have to experiment with things like Threads of Disloyalty in today's metagame, but it still deals with artifacts, which I really, really like. Well, I don't know if I like it more than Borrower. Borrower has a different place in the deck, but I am looking for ways of dealing with creatures these days. And we can exile like Primeval Titan with this, right? Yeah, exile Primeval Titan. Should be instant speed for 2 mana. I don't know. I think it's fair. Is it the first time blue gets artifact hate? It might be. You know what? I don't know if blue has ever had this sort of artifact hate before. Like, we exile a particular target artifact. We don't get that stuff. It's usually bounce the artifact, which is garbage. Just pure absolute shit. Absolute garbage. Yeah, it's a permanent answer. And it's like, okay, so the card doesn't go back to your hand. The card doesn't go to the graveyard. It is gone. 1/1 blue bird. Okay, no problem. That's really the least of my worries. I have a random 2 mana available. I can foretell it. I can pay the foretell cost. Can't touch me. I'm in the gray. I'm exiled. Well, Pongify was a lot of people ask me about Pongify, but the 3/3 creature outclasses our creatures. The 1/1 blue bird does not. So when you destroy the creature, first off, not exiled, destroyed, so they can bring it back from the graveyard with Luris. And second off, we can't. A 2/2 Lord of Atlantis is getting outclassed by a 3/3 frog. Karn says hi to the exile part. Unfortunately, what do you mean? I don't understand this part. Matt Tabak from Wizards of the Coast posted this. As you cascade, you check the front face's mana cost to see when you hit a qualifying CMC. Once you do, you can cast either face of that card. So no land faces? Okay, so Tybalt can be cast off of Cascade. I don't think that the plane... I don't even actually think... If you Bloodbraid Elf into Tybalt, I don't even think it's going to be that bad. It's going to be very similar to, like, getting Liliana the Veil. Except maybe a little bit better because Tybalt can target. Oh, Karn 4 can bring artifacts from exile. I forgot about that. It's not just the sideboard. Yeah, Karn the Great Creator pulls from exile. I completely forget about that ability. Yeah, the search option. What's wrong with the Walker's face? I don't know. It's their face. Goes to 7 loyalty on the spot. Yeah, but it's still dirtling a little bit. I don't think it does anything relevant for the first ability. Like, it does protect itself pretty well, though. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's an Oko situation. Like, let's get back to the Tybalt. Maybe this is an Oko situation where you go +2, it's 7 loyalty, that's pretty high, nearly damn impossible to kill, but you only need to get it down 4 loyalty for it to destroy itself. Like, so if it wants to exile target artifact or enchantment, it's just gonna die. If you can get it back down to 3 loyalty. I don't know, but I'm not sure. Maybe it'll take over the game. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I agree. The rules shouldn't let you play either side of this card. Would Wishes be too good for Modern? I don't think so. I think if Karn the Great Creator is allowed to exist, I think other decks should have more access to Wishes. Some decks have access to Wishes that others don't. We should have more Wishes. But with what are you cascading into it? Only with Bloodbraid Elf? Yeah, you'd just only Bloodbraid Elf. So you have Valky, God of Lies. So it's possible this card just ends up being really clunky in your hand, or you have a mediocre 2/1. But the 2-mana 2/1 is not too bad. You take a creature from their hand. You could like take your opponent off curve. I'm not sure. I don't know. Aztec guy says, have the Cascade rules been updated since the introduction of double face modal cards? Because prior to them, only 2-sided cards only had a front facing CMC. Oh, they did change actually. Like for example, Huntmaster of the Fells, the back side CMC is the same as the front side. The back side is not 0 mana anymore. Living End actually doesn't want to play with this card at all because they would accidentally cascade into it instead of Living End too often. So they would rather not do that. What if the sideboard was 20 cards? It would be interesting if we had access to 20 card sideboards, but you know, why 20? Why not 25 or 30 or whatever? So, you know, I think what makes Magic interesting is that we are really restricted when we are playing with 15 card sideboards. All right, let's get into deck list review. Yeah, let's do it. So as usual, if you got a 75 that you want me to review, both with myself and the community, I have a link in my Discord. Go check out my Discord in the description below. Join my Discord. I have a wonderful Discord. There is a channel called Decklist Review. In that channel, use the command ! Then use a space. Do not press enter. Don't do that. You won't be eligible to get reviewed. Use ! Deck review. Sorry, ! Review deck space. Then put the URL to your deck list. Press enter. You can even leave some comments if you want. Just can't be over 100 characters. It'll say you're put in a queue. That's old nonsense. You will be chosen at random to be eligible for deck list review. And as people are submitting their deck lists, we have sponsors, people. That's what keeps this whole thing going. That's how I can like afford this microphone. We're going to start with themanabase.com, your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. The Manabase does videos, articles, and podcasts on all your favorite formats like Modern, Commander, Standard, and more. The Manabase. Go check them out. And also, with Fusion Gaming Online, my favorite local game store. The deal of the week this week, save up to 15% off all Modern Horizons singles and sealed products. So if you're looking to get a deal on your Force and Negations and paper, maybe some of your Fetch lands or Horizon lands, go check out FusionGamingOnline.com. Remember, it's a Canadian site and Canadian prices. And also, you always want to check out Fusion Gaming Online every week to see what the new deal is, because there's a new deal every single week. I think we're going to thank Fusion Gaming. And we're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. And if Force Negation is like too much money at $374 US, you don't need to buy the card. You can just borrow it and all other really expensive staples in Modern with Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. You can support the channel by using my Mana Traders link in the description below. Or you can save yourself 15% off your first 3 months using my coupon code Nikachu. Oops, where's my banner? There we go. There's my logos. There's all the good stuff. Please check new Planeswalker. Okay, hold on. I'll check quickly. Otherwise, we just gotta leave it for tomorrow. Whatever we missed today, we gotta see it for tomorrow. 4 mana. Okay, so T-Varkel, GG2. Elves you control have tap, add black. Interesting. +1, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target elf, untap it against Death Touch until end of turn. Pay 0, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. -6, get an emblem with whenever you cast an elf spell, it gains haste until end of turn, and you draw 2 cards. This is unplayable. All these abilities are really weak for a 4-mana planeswalker, in my opinion. Put a +1/+1 on target elf, untap it against death until end of turn. No, I'm not really impressed with any of these. And the ultimate is like, it's 3 turns to pull off, and probably you've won or lost by that point. Where's my banners? And by the way, thanks everyone for showing up. I mean, hey, we're going to do Decklist review, but for everyone showing up, I can see you on Facebook. I can see you on the YouTube channels. We got 150 people joining us today looking at these spoilers, and I'm going to take a delicious sip of my coffee. Would paper historic become a thing in a few years, Jesse? Absolutely. Could be. If historic gets popular enough, they would obviously move it to paper. It'd be a little awkward because it's like, you know, what cards are legal? You know, there's like, it's not easily defined. It's like they have X number of sets plus just a bunch of random cards that they've arbitrarily added to the card pool, right? Okay, let's get into Decklist review. We got Good Things in a Box. I love the sound of that. Good Things in a Box is teasing me. Teasing the hell out of me by presenting the deck from the worst website for displaying decks, deckstats.net. Absolutely the worst site. I'm just going to start shaming people. Oops. Or I shouldn't say shaming. I don't want to shame people. I'm shaming the site. This is the worst way to display decks. Okay, lands. Hall of Heliod's Generosity. It's basically the Tolarian Academy runes for enchantments. Sacred Foundry, 5 snow-covered forests, 2 snow-covered plains, 1 stomping ground, 2 temple garden, windswept heaths, wooded foothills. Banishing Light, Blood Moon, Oblivion Ring. We have enchantments RS deck. 3 on Thin Ice, 2 Seal of Fire, Utopia Sprawl, 1 Worship. Where are your creatures? Oh, you have creatures. Idyllic Tutor. Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Only 1? Usually you got 4 tutors and then 1 of all your other stuff. Calyx, Destiny's Hand. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment card from among them. Put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So it's a good card for this deck. Exile target creature or enchantment you don't control until target enchantment you control leaves the battlefield. Return all enchantment cards from the graveyard to the battlefield. The ultimate is good. Still a bit difficult. It's 3 turns off. Chandra Torch of Defiance is good. So you have Arbor Elf. You have Utopia Sprawl, right? You have 4 of them. Archon of Sun's Grace. Flying lifelink. Creatures you control have lifelink. Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 white Pegasus creature token. You should have maybe 4 of these cards. This is like a real pay. I lost to an enchantment deck with this thing before. It was pretty brutal. 1 Birds of Paradise, 2 Courser of Crucifix, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, Eidolon of Blossoms, 3 Clothis, God of Destiny, Satyr, Enchanter, Citizen Champion, Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Citizen Champion and draw a card. That one's tough to get behind. Okay, so what are some people's thoughts on? Yeah, deckstats.net, more like loserstats.net. I do not like the new zombie hate card. I think it's silly. We can talk more about it tomorrow. So so here's the deal. Blood Moon's fine. Banishing Light's fine. Like some of these cards are fine. You probably should have more. How many things do you have at 1 mana? Maybe you want more Seal of Fires. Okay, I'll tell you this much. This is a good card. Like, this is pretty strong. I've lost to this card in Modern before, hilarious as it is. I wish you had more creatures, though, to double with it. So this isn't legendary or anything. I think you should go up on Courser of Crucifix. It's still a good card in Modern, even as it is right now. It's like a really strong card. And also, because you're playing with Dryad of the Elysian Grove, you should play... I don't know if you should play... But you should have access to, like, maybe some Valakut, the Molten Pinnacles. Because otherwise, I don't see a good reason for you playing this card. Either play with Valakut, and you know what? I mean, I'm not sure, but I think you can play Valakut and Blood Moon in the same deck. You know, you play Blood Moon when you know it's going to be relevant. Does Coffee and MTG on weekends? Nope, just weekdays. I need a break from you people. I stream almost every day, people. Give me a day off. I'm doing the song and dance every single day for you people. Dead Evolution Grove goes well with Blood Moon? Hold on, Dead Evolution Grove? I've never heard of that. Oh, Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Oh, that's what you mean. Sort of. It depends what comes out first. So, I mean, if you play Blood Moon first, then Dryad second, it's a timestamp thing. Then all your lands are whatever the hell you want with Dryad in play. But if you play Dryad first, then the Blood Moon, then everything is a mountain. Just important to keep that in mind. But that's not the point. Like, I want Valakut the Molten Pinnacle to be active while this thing is around. I don't think this is a good card, honestly. I think 3 mana, whenever you... I think it's a weak creature by itself. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I don't mind. What is it? What is she called? Or do I want this one? Like, if I say this is good, whenever an Eidolon of Blossoms or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control. No, but you get the card off of it immediately. Like, you play this card and you draw a card. And then you just... It's gravy after that. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, but this is similar, right? Maybe this is worth it. 3 mana, get nothing, and then on future turns. Like, drawing a card every turn is pretty fucking busted. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty busted. Maybe you should go... Maybe you should have to double down in that direction. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. I think maybe at the very least you should have more Eidolon of Blossoms, just because... This is an enchantment, so you can go all in on this, and they both like trigger on each other. So you play this, you get like an Eidolon of Blossoms. You'll get like a double trigger, draw 2 cards, and every future Eidolon of Blossoms also draws you cards. Drawing cards is not bad in this deck. There's some cards I think are iffy. Worship is a really iffy card. It usually, you sometimes cheese people out, but honestly, you usually don't. And you're better off with just something else. Like anything else. What about Bloodbraid Elf in this deck? Probably a little too clunky. Maybe not too bad on it. Maybe not too bad. But the 4-drop slot is going to be Eidolon of Blossoms and Archons of Grace. Okay, so let's cut this card. Let's just cut Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Yeah, I know it's an enchantment, whatever. Helps you ramp a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be worth it. I can't tell if it's going to be worth it in this deck. Or do we remove Klothys? This is an enchantment god, but I do like Klothys. Klothys is pretty cool. This is not really a deck that beats people down. I can't tell. Maybe these are just weak links in the deck, period. You got a lot of weird one-ofs. Like this one-of thing. I would rather have a second Eidolon of Blossoms than to have one of Satyr Enchanter. I think this is just a poor card for 3 mana. Cut the Satyr? I agree. Let's cut the Satyr. Maybe we could have Dryad of the Elysian. I mean, this is good on defense, and you get additional land drops. I could be wrong about this card. And the deck is pretty clunky, so getting to 6 mana to cast 2 enchantments a turn. Okay, I've a change of heart on Dryad of the Elysian Grove. I like this card now. Because you can play Dryad, get an extra land drop, and then next turn play like Citizen Champion plus... I don't know, Seal of Fire, Utopia Sprawl, something like this. We have no 2-mana enchantments in here. Everything is 3 mana. Is there any good 2-mana enchantments that would work in this deck? Like, I find that the curve is... I mean, yeah, I understand you've got, like, 1 mana dork. Basically. Oh, no, you have 2 mana dorks. Okay, so we are at mostly 3 mana between Arbor Elf and the Utopia Sprawl. So the curve is, I guess, okay. Maybe we don't need Birds of Paradise. Is Chandra Necessary? Good question. I don't know. I mean, it's removal. It's potentially a win condition if the board is locked up. You know what might help this deck a lot? Even Ghostly Prison. That would slow the opponent down by a lot. Like, you've got spot removal. You might just be better off also just by telling your opponent you can't attack unless you tax your mana. This is probably a very underrated card in the metagame at the moment. Come on, let's go. But I have to say, it's hard to use Ghostly Prisoner. It is hard to use this card. Cryfall is being overwhelmed at the moment. Yeah, does closing things help? It does. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature they control that's attacking you. I think this hoses like prowess pretty hard, to be honest. I think it'd be fine. If you were playing with a lot of creature removal in the main deck, I think this is very reasonable. Although it doesn't perfectly save you. The one worship, I think this should be a sideboard card. You just bring it in against some random deck that you want. Like, where you know that it's going to be effective. Because usually, I mean, well, okay, here's the deal. Okay, if you have this one worship in here, you should have 4 Idyllic Tutor. I don't know what you're going to remove for this, because then all of a sudden, all your tutor targets are pretty clunky. But I think that's a much better solution here, where you have like 4 Idyllic Tutor. Then you dig for your one-ofs, your one of Blood Moon, for example. Although I think I like having 3 Blood Moons. I could go to 4 Blood Moons, to be honest. I think going all in on Blood Moon right now is pretty good. My brother's doing great. He'll be back when things get under control here. I actually don't think Ghostly Prison is that effective against Merfolk. I usually beat it. What enchantments are there in Modern that make tokens? I played this deck in Standard, a similar one. And Omen of the Sun was really sweet with things like Archon. Well, we make tokens with this card, Archons of Sun's Grace. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield and your control, create a 2. Like if your opponent, if you get to untap with this thing, I know you win the game. Yeah, so I like 4 Blood Moon. Does Starfield of Nyx fit, or does it make your enchantments too easy to kill? Isn't Starfield of Nyx like a really clunky card? Yeah, it's like 5 mana. I mean, maybe it's not too bad, but like the curve is pretty high as it is. Okay, what are we scrapping here? Okay, scrap a Worship, add a Blood Moon. You'll probably win more games off of Blood Moon than you do with Worship. You know what? Seal of Fire is probably not nearly as good as On Thin Ice. This actually just exiles the card. So scrap a Seal of Fire, add an On Thin Ice. I think this is just hands down a much more powerful card. Here's a good question. Do we need red? Like, oh no, we need red for the Blood Moon. So I would say scrap the Seal of Fire. Let's add an On Thin Ice. If you want to diversify the Oblivion Rings, that's totally fine. I don't know if we need the Birds of Paradise. Like, maybe we do. Yeah, maybe 9 cards to ramp is fine. It looks odd, but truth be told, we might just want, like, 9 ways of ramping. Chandra Torch of Defiance probably doesn't fit this deck very well. I'm not going to make too much. I think this card is awkward, though. This card is... Calyx is probably a little clunky. Oh, I can click these cards and it makes pop-up? It's actually a little bit more clear. But it says you don't until target enchantment you control leaves the battlefield. I don't understand that. Exile target creature or enchantment you don't control until target... Oh, you target an enchantment. So basically 4 mana you can kill creatures. I still think this is a very clunky card. I would rather have like another Chandra instead of the Calyx. Or more creatures. I think Courser of Kruphix is a good card. It's great card advantage, and you gain life. I actually think Courser of Kruphix is probably very underrated in the metagame right now. Let's cut this thing. Let's cut like maybe a Clothis because it's legendary. We can add like, I don't know where to put the cards, but maybe another Dryad of the Elysian Grove and another Courser of Kruphix. And I want like 1 more Eidolon of Blossoms. So let's say we went 1, 2, 3. Let's cut Satyr Enchanter. You know, let's just say screw all the Clothis. Clothis doesn't look that necessary in this deck. It looks pretty poor. Because you're not even going to get this thing online very often. I mean, I guess the effect is not too bad. Maybe you can have 1 Clothis or something. You can tutor for this. How about that? You make Clothis the tutor target, right? So make this a tutor target. Cut 2 Colossus and a Satyr Enchanter, because this isn't going to block very well, and we do have an aggressive metagame right now. And you got Courser of Krufix and Dryad of the Elysian Grove. They're good at blocking. 2 Choke, beautiful. Cinder Vines, good. Destiny Spinner, enchant creature, and enchantment spells you control can't be countered. Okay. Target land you control. Okay, that's not too bad. I think in the right matchup. If you can get this underneath an Uro deck, I think this is going to be perfectly fine. Ghostly Prison, you might... Yeah, okay, that's fine. Ley Line of Sanctity and Rest in Peace. I think actually the sideboard works pretty well with your deck for the most part. Choke is good. Okay. Hope that was some useful feedback. Good luck with the deck. Sweet stuff. Let's move on with Decklist review. Ben Arm, congratulations. You are the next contestant on Decklist review. They presented their deck on the beautiful MTG Goldfish. Probably one of the premier places to show off a deck list. I actually really like their interface for Decklist review. All right, we got Is it Phoenix? Sorry, no, Is it Blitz? So we've got or Prowess, Swift Spear, Soulscar Mage, Bright Dragon, Stormwing Entity. How is this different from like just a stock list? I mean, this looks like a stock list. 2 Burst Lightning, a Crash Through, 2 Gut Shot, Lava Darts, Lightning Bolt, 3 Mutagenic Growth, 3 Opt, 1 Wild Slash. Interesting. Why the Wild Slash? If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, damage can't be prevented this turn. Okay, so maybe a way of getting through Auriok Champion and Core Firewalker. Metamorphose, 3 light up the stage. Island, 5 Mountain, Riverglade, Pathway, Shivan Reef. What? Why Shivan Reef? So it has a budget mana base? Shivan Reef. Or have they always played with Shivan Reef? For some reason I've never noticed the Shivan Reef in their deck. Hold on here. I don't think you can play the Sulphur Falls. I think this is going to be very, very clunky in your deck. ETB tapped unless you control an island or a mountain, but you've got a lot of non-islands and mountains in your deck. You have a lot, actually. And I think this deck is not allowed to start on turn 2. Oh, Garner, thank you very much for the $5. Thanks for all you do and the time you take to give up to us. Hope you have a great weekend. See you on Monday. Oh, you're welcome. Well, you'll probably see me on Sunday. I'm going to be streaming on Sunday 100%. I might stream on Saturday, but I just want to do Coffee and MTG, that's all. But thank you very much for the $5. You can get me to answer your questions with 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question, but I almost certainly will see the donations, that's for sure. Yeah, throw a fast land. Sulphur Falls is too... Like, this is super stock. Like, this is all great. But the mana base starts to get jank. This is a bit jank here. I can defend Shivan Reef a little bit. Whatever, it doesn't come to play tapped. But this sort of deck has to curve out. Like, you can't have anything come into play tapped. Sulphur Falls is going to come into play tapped tons, because you only have 6 lands that synergize with it. Riverglide Pathway, no problem. I can get behind this card. Shivan Reef, I don't like it, but I can get behind this card. Because you're going to take a damage every single turn. You're going to be very often using your mana up every single turn. So Sulphur Falls, you got to ETB tapped unless you control. Yeah, we got... What is the other one? But the fast land, I think, is expensive, right? Spire Bluff Canal? That's it. There's not many Spire Bluffs. Yeah, enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer islands, but it's expensive. Well, no, it's not too bad. $5 from Kaladesh. And if anything, I would play with that over Shivan Reef. So if you can afford, look at Shivan Reef. It's $5. It's $6, and I think it's worse than Spire Bluff Canal, hands down. Not even close. This isn't even a debate. You should sell your Shivan Reefs. Get yourself Spire Bluff Canals for $5. All right, that's a deal. Shivan Reef, is it really $6? Even here? What are the price differences? Oh no, Shivan Reef is way cheaper. Why is it saying $6 here? This is nonsense. Then you see there's like Magic 2015 $1, Magic Origins $1. Just the older versions. MTG Goldfish is showing like the expensive parts of the expensive versions of these cards. Okay, but whatever. Yeah, Spiral Bluff is definitely better than Sulphur Falls, and if you can afford enough, start replacing the Shivan Reefs with them. And actually, the Steam Vents... I mean, Steam Vents is better than Sulphur Falls, I guess. Steam Vents is a little bit better if you have fetch lands. Oh, it shows the total for 4. I got it. Oh, gotcha. Okay, makes sense. So this is like really expensive then, this Sulphur Falls. But so it's very close to Spire Bluff Canal. So sell it for $4. That's right. It's all coming together right now. It's all coming together. That's why we got you guys. That's why this show would be useless without the community, without you helping me fix all my fuck ups. So yeah, I would spend an extra $1 to get this Spire Bluff Canal 100%. And honestly, you might, if you're not playing with fetch lands, you might as well have Spire Bluff Canals instead of Steam Vents. And then if you can replace some of your Shivan Reefs with the Steam Vents, in my opinion. Or maybe you can replace some of the mountains. Maybe you can replace some of the mountain. I don't know what a Blitz deck normally looks like. So we have Tormod's Crypt, Claim the Firstborn. Well, what the hell is this? Gain control of target creature with convert mana cost 3 or less until end of turn. Untap that creature. What's the point of this card? To steal someone's Primeval Titan or something? Spell Pierce, Vapor Snag, Abrade, Ether Gust, Dragon's Claw, Kozilek's Return. Probably should have a second one in here. It's not too expensive. Temple's way too slow. This deck cannot have, that's why we criticized Sulphur Falls so hard. We cannot have anything come into play tapped with this deck. This deck wins because you get underneath every other deck. You cannot start the game on turn 2. This deck has to start the game on turn 1. How about a filter land? I believe those cards are useless on turn 1. You're going to have a lot of games where you're going to be keeping 1 landers. You go turn 1, Swift Spear attack. The next turn you attack, and then you play, I don't know, what's it called? Where's Light Up the Stage? Shouldn't there be 4 Light Up the Stages in this deck? I swear this deck plays 4 Light Up the Stages. I could be wrong. Anyway, so there should be a second Kozilek's Return in this deck for sure. Mystical Dispute, maybe 1 is fine. What is this Claim the Firstborn? Is this, like, played at all? Do they play this card? Let's look at a winning Blitz deck. They play Claim the Firstborn. Look at that. What the fuck? What is this against? I'm guessing like Primeval Titan or something. Or even take their Uro or something. I don't know. Maybe it's fine. I mean, I don't play this deck. Oh, they also have 1 Kozilek's Return. So it's basically a matching sideboard. I would say we should add up the Kozilek's Returns. Hold on. Or maybe is this like a metagame adjustment? I think, holy shit, Hammer Time's moving up quick. Oh, I can see the problem. There's just not enough decks weak to Kozilek's Return right now. Shadow doesn't care. Rakdos Midrange doesn't care. Healing Company doesn't really care. Sultai Uro doesn't care. Okay, I get it. All the decks that it cares about are really low. I will say this. If you're playing in leagues, you probably want the second Kozilek's Return because you still play against a lot of random nonsense decks that care about Kozilek's Return. I would remove Claim the Firstborn just because I don't know exactly how many decks you're supposed to play this thing against. Anyway, but sideboard seems to be the same as sideboard seems to be the same as this this Izzet list. So I shouldn't criticize it very much. But you anyway, don't have a clunky mana base. You can't afford these cards. Oh wait, does it say budget? It did say budget. So we'll keep it budget, but you can't play this card. That's for sure. There's no point in playing. It's interesting how far you can get on a budget. How much is this? 128 bucks tabletop, less than $100 online for Intix. Anyway, hopefully that helps. Oops, I've been having this Cascade Bluffs thing sticking there for the entire time. Do you already look at Raven form? Yes, it's great. It is going to be great. It's going to be a good card. I'm going to play test it for sure. Sadly, I've seen some games where I was on 4 Light Up the Stage, and it was like, wow, this hand really sucks. It's 4 Light Up the Stage and a Bolt and no creatures. You just gotta... Well, that's the point. Hey, you bolt them, you light up the stage, and you get the thing going. Look at that. Yeah, so Light Up the Stage appears to be not a 4 anymore. Hey, that's totally fine. Hey, playtesting says that this is too clunky, then it's too clunky. That's it. Simple as that. Is that a consensus? Oh, look at that. That's a consensus. 3x in 100% of the decks. 100%. I think this card is busted. 100% of the decks say, though, don't do it. Is the deck like perfected or something? 2.9 in 100% of the decks, 4 of in 100% of the decks, 3.6 in 100%. Well, I guess there's some variation here. Looks like the Is It Blitz deck is practically solved at the moment. Hammer time is the truth. Ham Merfolk needs to happen. Anyway, my fish fam. That's it for today. That's going to be it for Coffee and MTG. If I didn't get to your comments and questions, don't worry. Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. You can come back, and we're going to do this. We'll do the dance all over again. We're going to have fun on Coffee and MTG. I still have to work on the stupid fucking join button. But if you want to support the channel, you can also do that on twitch.tv/Nikachu MTG. I'll be streaming on Sunday. We'll play some Merfolk. I'm going to try a lot of new I'm going to try some really radical new stuff. I want to try Threads of Disloyalty. I'm going to try going back to Mono Blue. We're going to try Phantasmal Image in a Lava Dart metagame. You think I'm nuts? I am nuts. We're going to be copying people's Primeval Titans. That's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to get the edge in today's metagame. You can do that. You can support the channel for free by linking your Amazon Prime to your Twitch account, and then you can donate to me for free. You can subscribe to me it costs you nothing, and I get real money, real life money, to buy things and stuff. Are we streaming today? We're not. I might stream later. You know what? I have not played much Magic this week. I'm itching for some Magic, so if I just randomly show up online, you'll know. But how would everyone feel I started streaming on YouTube? You know, the more and more, because Coffee and MTG is actually growing on YouTube. Like I've been on Twitch for like 6 months, and Coffee and MTG has just been stagnant of like 45 to 60 viewers for 6 months. We're actually fucking growing on YouTube. Like I'm getting more YouTube and Facebook. I'm getting more viewers here. That's for damn sure. Like we got to 170 people yesterday. Like it's phenomenal. So anyway, stuff is going good. Coffee and MTG is growing. That's where we want to be. You tune in? Well, at the moment, I don't want to abandon Twitch. It's good as a content creator to be diversified over a lot of different social media platforms. But anyway, YouTube is growing. Twitch got to clean up their game. But thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all of you. We make it such an exciting, interactive morning. And I hope it's a great start to your day. So thank you very much for making me a part of your daily routine. So as usual, keep brewing up that coffee, and we keep brewing up that magic. See you next time.